Welcome back to Universal Journey Talk, Part 3 of Episode 3. Talking about 5D and realms now. Is realms another word for the different versions of 5D, or is there a separate? Are they different? You know what I mean? Like when you mention realms, is that the same thing as saying dimensions? You know what I mean? Is there a difference?
No, I actually I get how you want to say like different, there's different dimensions or, we could talk about like different dimensions of the mind, or consciously speaking, or like where we are, different planes, different realms. So it depends on how we're talking about anything like, is there a difference in vibrations and frequencies really? Depends what are we talking, what terms is
Okay.
kind of,
All right.
it's all similar.
So do you know like?
So like when like 3D or 5D, we're like most of us unless you're like Jesus, but this is a 3D. We're in a third dimension. This is a 3D dimension, which is the third dimension. This is the physical realm. We're physical. We're not like so etheric energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's we're super condensed energy at a slower vibration. You see, you know what I'm saying? So we're more dense. We're not like spirit or we're not soul form or energy. We're solid. We're matter. This is the matter realm. So when we say like this is the matter realm, and in that matter realm would be in the third dimension. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Okay. And I guess.
And then we talk about fourth dimension and fifth dimension, then we're going up to the higher dimension. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you know, I hear a lot about, at least on the internet and different things, everyone's talking about the fifth dimension. Why don't they mention the fourth one as much? Like, is there some reason? Like, or, you know what I mean? Like,
I like, well, the fourth dimension, I guess, they do. When people talk about dreams, like, that's really usually pertains most of the time in the fourth dimension when you go to sleep in the dream world, and that's that bridge. And when you, for those that like astral travel and things, astral journey, go through that bridge, or when you meditate and you want to take it to that level and go to 5D dimensions, to the six dimensions. You know what I mean? Like it. The fourth dimension in the dream world would be a bridge to that, and that's why people can go into deep, meditative states, and the mind can go as far as what 9 dimensions and beyond, So it's
all right, actually, you know what? Speaking about that, I got a kind of a theory that I often think about, which is so I guess this would be more of a fourth dimension theory, which is I always, I'm sure people find dreams very interesting, but when I kind of put a lot of this together, if you believe in or acknowledge that we're all connected we're all sound, we're all vibration, then everything, the universe, everything is all connected. And I feel right. So I feel that right. So I feel that when you go into your dream state, and I think there's some people may have heard the term. We know it, the pineal gland. It sits somewhere in the center of your brain, and it releases melatonin and all these other things that help bridge you into the dream world. Now, what I find so interesting about the dream world, if you're more conscious, or if you're someone that is can remember a lot of your dreams. Some people have a hard time when you're remembering dreams. Other ones can remember them very vividly. I remember mine very vividly. And a lot of times, some of the dreams I'll have are just like amazing. Like I'm going out into the universe and all these other weird things, or just strange things that.
You're the one that told me how to start practicing lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
It was you.
Right.
And a couple of dreams that I remember you and me were out the pyramids, literally actually like having a gentleman's fight. We're like heroes and shooting lasers and stuff. It was crazy. And I remember it was the day after you told me, or try that night, and I did it, and I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. Where I was lucid, and I knew I was in a dream. And just like any time, I mean, there are times, I knew, like, I'd be like, hey, am I in a dream right now? And but I noticed the hard part is once you know you're in a dream, you're like, if you think too much, you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute, my head's actually on the pillow right now. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, don't wake up. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I'll wake up.
Right.
Now I know that I'm too conscious of it.
Right.
I think the practice, there were times I was able to stay in the dream much longer.
Yeah.
And that actually I had one that wasn't even that long ago that was lucid. So.
Right.
But
actually, well, we'll go. I want to do like more of a part on lucid dreaming. Wait, what are you about to say? What?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. I want to go more into that and how to do it because there's a lot of benefits to that, which astronauts have done it in the past. There's like all these different ways where you can use while you're asleep to actually do work and stuff like that. And of course to increase your consciousness and different things. A lot of like geniuses in the past would actually work in their sleep. Because in your sleep, you have in your dreams you have the ability to create whatever you want. So there's a lot of good things to it. So yeah, I've been practicing
songs in my sleep.
What's that?
The cool part is I've written songs in my sleep.
Yeah, that's common.
The cool part is it's like I didn't really write it; it just came to me.
Well,
as long as I woke up and I remember the
right,
the melody or whatever. Sometimes I couldn't remember all the words, obviously, but I just fill them in. But I always like the relative, like the hook or the bridge or the melody. And I was like, I basically got the whole song. It's just filling the dots right there.
Yeah, I'll Well, I mean, as some people know, I've been in on and off in a local band for a long time. I think it was three of our songs. I literally had to wake up during the dream to hum it all out and on a recorder thing, and get it all. And they are literally our songs right now that we have. So it's pretty cool.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Because when you think about it, people don't understand. No one really invents anything. You're only getting it from God, or your source, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? The power. But that's the collective consciousness that we all share. Basically, what Christ was talking about. Or and understand becoming 5D, you understand it would be like Christ consciousness, and we would understand actually in the end we would have a natural understanding that we're all actually one, we're all whole. You know what I mean? And that we're just kind of like let's say we took a circle, a sphere, and broke it, and it was a jigsaw puzzle. Well, then we would all as individual souls be just a piece of the jigsaw puzzle, but in the end we're all part of that one, that whole, that circle. If you meditate and go so far in my mind, and I meditate and go so far in your mind, we're just going to come out to one mind, and that's Christ consciousness. We're all hooked up,
Yeah. Okay. Christ consciousness, and I also I word it more as like source. Is another common thing that other people.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, God.
Different wording. Yeah.
Everybody has all these labels. So
exactly. Right. But no, it's true. It's true. But kind of going along with what you're saying about the collective consciousness, this goes back to my theory, which I believe could be very true, which is so when you go into your dream state, sometimes maybe you or other people if they're can recollect. There's sometimes you'll have some dreams that are so crazy or like. Where you're almost like that. I don't think I never saw a movie that made me think of it. I never thought I would do such a thing. I never thought I would, whatever. And when I'm basically, coming to is because I do believe that when you go into the dream state, that is your mind unconsciously or subconsciously going into the realm of the collective consciousness. So yeah, you are your identity, but your identity is drawing in other identities and other experiences. So there may be things that you will experience in your dreams where you're like, it was so vivid, it was so real, but it was like, I never could have even imagined that or something. Or things that you might have done in your dreams where you're like, I would never do something like that. And it's because you're delving into the conscious, collective conscious.
It's just like you said. And like you said, there's things you wouldn't do or, and when you're in the dream state, depending on how deep you go, there's different levels, So there's in different planes. So when you're in there, some planes you could be experiencing yourself as different reincarnations and just telling stories either in the past or maybe in the future, and some of them are just premonitions that are to come. That's why, like, some of those dreams, they may feel like this isn't just a dream. It's more, or maybe it's more like a vision, or because you said it's so vivid that has had an added dimension to it. Because whatever this is, it's probably in a deeper or higher plane, and that's why it's so embedded to you. So when you wake up, you're like, this was different, or like you're having, maybe it is almost like prophetic or something, a prophecy or something, a vision or something. You could tell your soul is trying to tell you something. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's many different ways to look at it, but
right. And now to me, these are what I also consider to be, I guess you could say they are actual realms, though. They're realms of reality. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or, dimensions, however you want to put it. And it's just how deep will you allow yourself to go? And you can do it through dreams. And that's, for instance, if there's people that are like, well, I don't want to touch drugs and this and that. Like, I fully understand that. I've never actually done any hallucinogens or anything like that myself because of fear of, a fear of them. But, clearly it seems like depending on how you do it and how you whatever, you're opening up potential gateways. You know what I mean? And then it's what you do with those gateways. I mean, you can go to an amazing place, an amazing reality, and really just, skip around, not pay attention to nothing, come back and you learn nothing. You know what I mean? Or you can be in that reality and you can actually start to, learn and draw in things that maybe you can't get in our reality,
But like everything, like especially, see, I don't want to be calling it a drug. You know what I mean? To me, it's medicine.
Oh,
like
I got
any
you.
medicine.
True.
You don't just you don't really like. You wouldn't go you wouldn't go taking like 90 vitamin C's in a sense, or even garlic, actually is a medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
totally.
When you're putting garlic in everything, and that's what like Westerners do, but it wasn't really made to be taken like that. It's actually it's a medicine. So you wouldn't take
yeah, I get you.
You wouldn't on a daily basis. You only need to handle something or
right.
to just perform. But after that, it's not to be taken on a daily. So same thing with these medicines, whether it's DMT, ayahuasca, mushrooms, and so on and so on. You got different cactuses and all different type of things that but remember, like anything, responsibility, and you'll know if you're using it for medicine. Usually you could tell if it's something, and as you learn about things like spirituality, you'll know if that's something that you would be interested in, and if it works for you. You don't need to do these things. You could do everything. Meditation is, to me, works really good anyway. And so, because the thing is, if you overdo anything, like even like in taking these medicines, you can burn yourself out in a sense consciously, and so that can in a sense work against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If sense.
No, I mean it's like anything. I mean, in the regular pharmaceutical world, or holistically, you can overload in anything. I mean, like these are still, like you said, they're medicines. I mean, and I mean, or they are, however you want to perspective. You could also call them drugs, or however you want to look at it, whatever, because they have effects. So, either way, you have to be. You can't just be, stupid about it and just go, I'm just going to take as much as I want, because they will obviously affect your brain, your body, whatever. And so, I think that's the difference between anything. Like you can overdo anything that can start to be detrimental for your health or for your mind in any way, unless you know how to do it right. And, hopefully, with someone that has experience, and then you can really get a lot of gain out of it, So, but also
Really?
like,
Want to
what's
get
that?
the spiritual part, especially, it comes with some maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I mean, hey, look, I'm not gonna sit there and say like, oh, like, I mean, you can smoke weed and it could be a really spiritual experience, or you can just smoke it for a recreational purpose.
right,
Now, I'm
right.
not gonna it's done both. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But like anything, it's being there's a part of maturity and a lot of things. And as if you really want to learn something, well, um, you'll know if it resonates with you, then go then that should be an issue. That's more of your it's intuitive. But if it doesn't resonate with you, and you feel it's probably something that I don't need to do, then you probably shouldn't do it. Probably not a good idea, at least not now.
Yeah,
There's no rush.
yeah,
Like I said, meditation is, I mean, well, it is very is I would say the most effective thing at all for period. Just you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because that's just when you meditate and your mind is present, then you're automatically on the higher frequency,
right,
and that aren't bounded by fear in a sense, or fear frequency.
right,
You know,
right.
you're like a cork just riding with the wave of life naturally. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And when these lower waves come through of the lower realm to lower planes, that's as we are in fear. Then it's like it's resistance, and that's what takes that cork that's riding on the wave, nice and easy, going with the wave of the flow of life that is pulling that cork down, and that's resistance. And that's how us in 3D consciousness we experience all the time. You could feel fear, worry, doubt, judgment. This is the realm. The 3D realm is the realm of judgment or good versus evil. In the other planes, like the higher planes, there is no judgment, and there really isn't even really good or evil. It's in some ways you can almost understand more of a concept. And so the good, the evil, the judgment is kind of for us in the third realm, in the lower realm, the dense realm, to kind of test us in a sense, and we're going to go through, navigate through these challenges, as long as we understand that where there's light, there's always darkness. Stars can't shine without darkness, but understand what the light is, and the path of light in this realm, because we are all spiritual creatures, and we're all source energy, and that there is a higher power. We're all we all have God in us. We're not separate. It's all one. It's all like one and the same, in a sense.
Yeah, and actually, I think,
Universally, esoterically speaking, metaphysically speaking, beyond just the five senses. When we
right,
start going in other planes, there's a sixth sense that helps us understand, like when you're talking about the third eye and the pineal gland, these things that's like on your dollar bill, back of the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye, understanding there that opens you up and understanding the higher realm, just like you would in a 5D conscious state or mode. You know what I mean? You see things with an added dimension that in 3D we don't see that.
yeah. Thanks for watching this segment of the full episode, to be posted Saturday at noon. Much more to be discussed in the next part, so give this video a like, leave your comments for us to reply to in future episodes, and stay notified by hitting the subscribe button.